Up next we have Mahesh Chan, and he's the going to be talking about blockchain and industry application. He's Microsoft Regional Director and founder of C# and CEO of Mindcracker. So Mahesh.
Thank you, Jaden.
Small room.
David, if you could give Mahesh the mic. I think we can all use the mic. It'd probably be better.
I don't feel like I need to be bound there at the desk, right? Thank you, Jaden. Thank you for having me here. I'm going to strictly talk about blockchain. And my background is tech. I've been programming for 22 years. I started programming in DOS, obviously DOS, then Windows, and then what I see as a blockchain is a next evolution of the systems, of the computer systems. And how I see is because if you go back 22 years, when I started programming in DOS. Means we will write code and we will only see instructions as a code as results. Then we moved to, the need came like, okay, we need a database. We need to store some kind of data. Then databases came. Then Windows came that because you just need to see how application works. After Windows, then their bigger systems came. It's called client server. Where multiple people can connect to same database and access it through the UI applications. And after that, here we are, we got these websites. And we are in a web era right now, is where websites are growing. Everything is moving to web. And after web, there's a cloud. So this is a kind of evolution of how software is built in past 30, 40, 50 years. But today, here we are today. If you look at our biggest challenge as human beings, what do you do most today? How many of you change your password every day? Or reset your password every day? Right? I spend my most time deleting all those spam emails. Right? There's a 332 million spam emails sent every day. There are 9 trillion IoT devices that are generating data every moment of time. Data never sleeps. All of us right now here, we are on our cell phones, we are generating this data. 4 billion people are connected to the internet all the time, generating data, sending this data from one device to the device. So what's happening there is this part of data generation of our life is creating so many problems. The problems is data is now being stored and managed and controlled by these centralized authorities like Google, Microsoft, Apple, right? Who paid here for their iPhone, right? You guys paid for your iPhone, right? How much? $1,000? We own our iPhone, right? But guess what? We don't own the data. We think we own the data. We don't own it. And Apple has the data, our Google has data, all these companies have data. So what's happening is these companies are manipulating data. They're making money out of it. So that's one problem is about the amount of data, the transparency of the data, the access of the data, the control of data. That's one problem in today's generation. The second problem is this millennials, the Gen Z. They don't believe in anybody controlling their lives. And that's where the biggest thing with the cryptocurrency or blockchain comes is that blockchain can solve these problems. And I'm not going to go in details what blockchain is. Obviously, it's a trusted, it brings trust, transparency, accountability to the digital transactions. And accountability is key. That you heard the last two weeks ago, right? 500 million accounts data was stolen or was being stolen from Marriott database. Guy was hacking for like 8 years. He has access to the data. Equifax, biggest hack, right? My social security gone, my date of birth is gone, my credit cards are gone. They have everything now. Now anybody can go open an account with my name and get it, get a loan. So all these problems combined, what's happening is that we see as a technologist and programmers see as a blockchain could be the solution that can solve these problems. Why? Blockchain is a combination of 4 major technologies. Blockchain is not something new. It's been all forever. It's been like for 20, 30 years. It has cryptography. Cryptography solves the problem of securing your data and identifying who you really are. It has distributed ledger, means now data is not stored and controlled by one centralized authority. It is controlled by us, our people, us as a community. And then then again, it has a consensus algorithm, which means that not one person can now go and change data they want. There's authority of community. They can decide and vote on that. And last thing is it uses peer-to-peer technology, peer-to-peer network, which means, imagine today, if you are on a Google server and Google Cloud goes down, or Amazon cloud goes down. Amazon, AWS is only in 23 locations in the world. Imagine 6 of them go down. Guess what? So many websites will shut down. It's going to happen one day. Actually, 2-3 months ago, Azure data center was down because of hurricane. 4 hours, there was no Azure services. So if you're hosting a website on Azure, your website was down for 4 hours. So it's going to happen. Blockchain with peer-to-peer network this problem is not going to exist, because if half of the network goes down, doesn't matter, it's just going to continue to run. So this is what blockchain solves. It's the next evolution of how we build software systems and how we store and manage data. So where are we going with it? What I see as a future, I think what we're talking about, the future of technology, future of blockchain and cryptocurrency, what I see is a lot of these so-called blockchain startups, they're going to fade away in the next 2 years. 90% of startups, they are based on cryptocurrencies, will probably die. Some will be merged, acquired by bigger companies. Because if you look at Fortune 500 companies, everyone is right now hiring and investing and building something in blockchain or digital ledger. Everyone. You go to LinkedIn, go to Indeed, go to Glassdoor, look at job listings. Blockchain is one of the highest demand jobs. Blockchain experts, blockchain developers, blockchain testers, they are going to be in big need in next coming 2-3 years. It's a natural evolution to the web and cloud. So right now we are building, everything is moving to cloud. Cloud is going to have all the challenges, and we're going to move to blockchain. Thank you so much. Question? Any questions?
90%, which one is correct?
That's a good question. Which one going to crash? Community is going to decide. I think there are. If you look at me, I'm not being serious. I don't know the answer. But whoever has the most fake communities, I think we were talking about fake communities before. Whoever has most fake communities, and they're going to probably die first. I think the one, they don't have involvement of bigger companies. Like Google is supporting some cryptos, right? Obviously, they're going to somehow survive. But there are some cryptos there in some third-world countries. Nobody knows who the team is behind. Nobody knows if those guys have even built any businesses. Some of these young guys who are building crypto, they have no concept of how to build businesses. Cryptos are built, that's great. They have raised money, that's great. But now they are struggling to build the product and launch the product and actually find the right clients. So if you look at those teams, I think, again, good teams are going to survive. And teams that are supported by good companies,
So you're saying the big centralized companies are going to take over?
Yeah, I think they are already taking over. Like Microsoft is building their own identity blockchain, Google is building, Facebook has just hired, I think, a couple of thousand blockchain developers. So they are building their own. They just learn from these younger mistakes. Young guys building these, they are making mistakes, they're learning from them, and they are building their own. So rather than, these big companies are not going to use public blockchains. That's for sure.
You work for one of these big companies?
I do not work for, I'm independent.
Well, you're independent now.
Yeah, I'm a Microsoft regional director, which means I'm advisor to them, but I don't work for them. I have never worked in my life, so little background on me, I came from India 20 years ago. And I lived in a village where we all go by society. There's no lawyers there. There is nobody's writing contract. All we do is person to person transactions. We talk to each other, okay, if you can help me this, I'll help you this. When I was growing up, we didn't have electricity. So I have seen the community from, like I have lived there 20 years. Then I moved here. I come here and I see lawyers. I see everything is contract. You have to sign so much. Like, I can't even read. If I'm buying a car, this is a 6-page document. I don't understand it. English is not my primary language. I bought a house, 60-page long contract. Like, what? There's no way I can understand it. Okay, it's fine, I'll sign it because I'm going to buy the house. But it doesn't make sense. I think a lot of these problems can be solved by blockchain.
So you got introduced to centralization. It's ugly as fuck.
Yeah, controlled by corporations.
Internal.
Private ones, yeah.
Question?
Any more questions?
Hello? Yes, right here. With regards to decentralized data storage around amongst a bunch of different computers, whatever, and using blockchain as a solution, what do you think about situations where maybe there's data that you as the person who's storing it, you may not want to store that particular type of data. So for instance, let's say you have a decentralized kind of, let's say, storage platform, for lack of a better term, and you're offering to say, I'm willing to store, a terabyte of data, that's on the blockchain or in the cloud. But some of that data might contain child pornography, it might contain some other sort of, stuff that you don't want to have on your particular thing, and that might, open the door for certain types of, because if you have possession of that, maybe it might open up some legal issues and stuff. I'm just wondering if there's been any sort of thought in your practice as to solutions for being able to have a decentralized solution for storing data, yet being able to offer people ways to decide what data they want to store and what not.
Yeah, and that's a great question, right? Because right now, so far blockchain, we know that blockchain and cryptocurrencies are infant, right? They are very early stage. And we are learning for so many mistakes. There's more needs coming out. And one of the next evolution besides the smart contract is side chains. Side chains could be, they allow you actually to decide what data you want to really store on a blockchain, what you don't want, when you share, when you want to merge, or you want to convert. That's one of the evolutions. Eventually, there's going to be smaller settings, there's going to be preferences, there's going to be a lot of other features being added to. It's a software, right? It's a software. So it's a software, how you are accessing the data, storing the data, controlling the data, sharing the data. So more needs will come up. That's how we're going to change. We're going to write the code to manage that. There's going to be more algorithms. There's going to be more consensus algorithms to make different decisions and settings and so on. I think it's going to come eventually, what you're saying. All right, thank you so much.